would you describe the challenge of going up against Chase Brown?
Yep.
All right. Well, he's leading the nation in rushing. He's gonna have a great year. I think the offensive line is playing at a really high level. I think they work really well together. And then with that running game, I think it's definitely set up some things in the play action and some things down the field. I've been really impressed. They're really well coached, and they're doing a really nice job moving the football. So it's going to be a really big challenge for us.
How pivotal are tackling fundamentals and run fit discipline, considering Illinois is one of the top teams at forcing missed tackles in the run game?
They're always important. It's always something that we really value and work really hard on. But anytime you're facing, number one, a really good rushing attack, I think it makes it even more important. And then when you add to it one of the best players in the country who's able to make people miss in a phone booth, I think it even makes it more important. You've kind of heard us talk over the years at times, everyone sees the missed tackle, but why does the tackle in space 15 yards down the field with one guy there? Those are the most challenging tackles in football, and maybe one of the hardest things to do in football. So the gap integrity goes hand in hand with the ability to tackle, and then when it is in space, keeping your proper leverage and using your fundamentals. So those things are going to be paramount for us this week against this back and this offense.
It feels like Satowski's been in college football forever, yet you guys have actually, I don't think, ever gone against him in the 5 years. What are the biggest differences you've seen between DeVito and Satowski?
I can even tell you this: when I was at Rutgers, he was in my recruiting area to start. That tells you how long he's been around. So because I think I'm in like year 6 or 5 here. I don't even know. I don't really count them. But yeah, I think the thing is he's a bigger player, obviously. So anytime you're a bigger guy, that kind of creates different vision points and different launch points than maybe a shorter player does. I think he's got really good arm strength. We knew that back in the day when we were recruiting him when I was at Rutgers, and we've kind of seen that over the years as well. I think that he does have more athleticism than maybe some people would give him credit for. I think he can scramble. I think he can make you miss. And so I think that the thing that he doesn't have for this year is all the reps and all the experience. But he's not a typical quote-unquote number 2 that comes in because he's been a starter. He's been in the fire. He's been in games. I was really impressed with what he did last week. He comes in off the bench and is able to lead the team to victory and had some really good throws that moved the team down the field. So he's not a traditional guy who hasn't played a lot of football. We've seen a lot from him, and we've actually seen him on film a bunch of times, not so much here, but when we were getting ready in 19, he was the starter for that Rutgers team. So we're familiar with him on film, even though we haven't necessarily played, but we've got a lot of respect for him.
Joe, Illinois is a big time of possession team. Does that become more of a point of emphasis for your team, getting them off the field?
I think it's something you're aware of in terms of how the game's going to be played. People obviously say that about us as well. I think it makes the third downs more critical. You want to be able to win third down and get the ball back to your offense because maybe an average team, not in terms of ability, but your average college team, they get a first down. The amount of time that next series takes off isn't maybe the same as it is for an Illinois, and probably not the same for us. So those third down situations become even more important to be able to get the ball back for your offense and get them an opportunity to get on the field.
Joe, how did you break down to your team the 68-yard run that Purdue had in the fourth quarter there?
Yeah, we're blitzing at the end in a 4-minute drill, and the thing kind of rocked back off the shelf on us. And the reality is it should have been a 7-yard gain. We lose leverage at 3 different positions. We have a guy who misses the tackle outright, and then it kind of gets out, and then we get an opportunity to get it on the ground. We're going for the strip because we want to get the ball back, and then it drifts another 20 yards down the field. So that's not us. That's not what we believe in. We can't have that. We talk all the time. There's a fine line between elite defense and bad defense, and that was certainly on the bad side. And you look at it for what it is, and you learn from it, and you move on. So we got to be better on that play for sure.
you'll see Illinois go anywhere from 5 wide to 3 tight ends. How difficult is that to try and go from very different personnel packages?
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly a challenge. They got the barge package too, where they get 7-0 linemen out there with made its debut last week, and was something that was very prominent for them last year and has been prominent and Coach Bielema team. So, having those different personnel packages and bringing different people into the game is certainly a challenge. They have some big people. They also get in big people and then spread you out, which we call misplaced personnel. So they have a lot of nuances to their offense. They have a lot of different packages and things they're good at. I got a lot of respect for them and what they're doing for sure.
When it comes to Mariano, how has he shown you to be a kind of a student of the game in his time here?
Because he loves football. He watches an incredible amount of film. He takes diligent notes. He's just phenomenal from that standpoint. The amount of time that he puts in, the amount of preparation that he puts in, it's really unbelievable. And I really couldn't ask for anything more from that standpoint from a student athlete. Because they got other things going on. It's not necessarily they're just here for just football or, when you're in the pros and that's your job. He prepares probably as well as anyone I've ever coached in my career. And, that gives him an edge. And it gives him an edge for him personally, and it gives us an edge defensively because he does a lot of work for us with, calling things out, getting us in and out of checks, alerting guys of certain things. So his work that he puts in from a preparation standpoint, second to none.
What have you noticed when it comes to Jaw Joyner's development over the past year or so?
I think he's progressing, and he's come in. When we watched him on film, we felt like he was a guy that had a really high upside. He did a lot of really good things in high school, but felt like there was some development that needed to be done. He's put on weight. He's added strength. He's certainly flashed in the pass rush game in terms of being able to win and get free. He's got to work to finish. The thing that's exciting for us, if my math is correct, I think he's got 3 years left after this. So you look at a guy who's really playing in his first year of eligibility when you throw in the COVID and how we used him last year and still being able to redshirt him, and it's incredibly exciting. We want to see that every week get better. We want to see him continue to improve because we think he has a chance to be a really, really good football player. And the sooner the better, not only for him but for us.
Looks like Newman is the highest graded defensive player by Pro Football Focus. Is that reflective in how you guys have looked at his first 5 games? Is he playing at a higher level?
Absolutely. I think he's one of our best players for sure. How does he get there? Because he practices really hard, because he studies really hard. No, he's got ability for sure. He's got God-given ability, but there's lots of people with God-given ability. The ones who maximize the God-given ability are good people who do the right things, who are detail people, who work really hard, who prepare and practice really hard. They practice at a high level with their effort. He studies film. He takes notes. He's similar to Mariano from that standpoint. And, when you're good players or your hardest workers, that usually bodes well for your football team. And we're fortunate to have a guy like Tyler, set examples for young guys. I just had a conversation with a young guy 2 days ago. I said, look, you just look at Mariano and look at Newman. I said it right to him on the practice field. Watch how those two guys practice. You want to know how to practice? Watch those guys. And the cool thing is they haven't always been our best players, but they've turned themselves into being our best players because of how hard they work, which I have a lot of respect for those two guys for that.
2 more for Coach Rossi.
How would you assess Illinois' pass catchers?
I've been coming on like they really, from week to week, I think have improved. I thought they really, had a coming out party, so to speak, against Wisconsin, making contested throws, catching back shoulder fades, getting open down the field. So I've been impressed. They have a mix of speed and size. I've been impressed with the ball skills. So there's certainly a challenge. And, they've been winning those 50-50 balls. They're not 50-50 balls for them. They're more like 60-40, 70-30. And when you combine, I think they do a really good job of drawing pass interference penalties. It looks to me like it's something that's coached, where their guys are in contested areas, and next thing you know, here comes the flag. And they've got 4 or 5 or 6 of them on the year. And, I think not only are they catching them, but they're drawing those penalties. So I've been impressed. They do a nice job. They're well coached.
Anything else for Coach Rossi? Thanks, Coach, for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.